Alright, good morning everybody. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, Landscape of the Soul. Alright, before starting with it, let me brief you that what is there inside the chapter. Okay, so the main theme of the chapter is about arts. Alright, it revolves around the art of painting told through the help of various stories. Okay, it tells about the art, the artist, the painters, the paintings, okay, the creative people, the creative set of people. Sometimes children, we see a painting somewhere, we don't understand the motive of that painting or what is the exact use, but the painter, but the observer, the artist knows that how he has made the painting and what is the motive, what is the deep meaning inside that particular paint. Okay, similarly it explores the concept of art brut. What do you mean by art brut? Art of the ones who have no right, who have no freedom. It is telling about two kinds of art forms. One is the Chinese art and the other one is the European art. It is telling about two arts. First one is the Chinese art and second is the European art. Chinese art is about not creating a real landscape, about not showing the real thing, the real piece of picture, not showing the real landscape. And whereas the other hand, European art shows the viewer exactly what he wants to see in the landscape. Okay, Chinese art is a little decisive. The painter does not show his exact emotions, exact feelings in Chinese art, but in European art they tell to the viewer exactly what they are feeling. They tell about the complete landscape. Okay, let's begin. A wonderful old tale is about the painter Wu Daozi who lived in the 8th century. It's a very, what do I say, quite a long backstory, centuries ago. We are in the 21st century and this is the 8th century. You can imagine the difference. One century is 100 years. His last painting was a landscape commissioned by the Tang Emperor Xuanzong to decorate a palace wall. His last painting was about a landscape. What do you mean by landscape? Landscape is showing the mountains, the rivers, some houses, trees. All these things together make a landscape, a scenery. The master had hidden his work behind his screen, so only the emperor would see it. Okay, so the scene was that he had decorated the wall, but this was the scene that who could see the wall? Only the emperor could see the wall because that was behind the screen. For a long while, the emperor admired the wonderful scene. Admired means he really liked, he really praised. Said, wow, beautiful, wonderful. Discovering forest, high mountains, waterfalls, clouds floating in an immense sky. Immense means very big. The sky was showed in the painting very big. As obvious, sky is very big. It is huge, immense. So big we cannot imagine it. So what could be seen? There were forests, there were high mountains, deep waterfalls, many clouds, large sky, men on hilly path, birds in flight. Okay, the whole beautiful nature. Look, children. Look, sire, said the painter. In this cave at the foot of the mountain dwells a spirit. Dwells means lives a spirit, dwells a spirit. The painter clapped his hands and the entrance to the cave opened. Okay, he clapped his hand and the door opened. The inside is splendid. Splendid means beautiful, exceptionally good, beyond anything words can convey. It meant that the painting, that whole scene, the whole wall was so looking so beautiful that words were not there to praise that thing. People were out of words. They were out of words. Words could not convey, could not tell the exact beauty of that particular thing. Please let me show you, your majesty, the way. Painter entered the cave, but the entrance closed behind him. Okay, he entered and the entrance closed. And before the astonished emperor could move, astonished means he was scared, he got frightened. He went inside that area, and as soon as he went, the door closed from the back. The painting had vanished from the wall. And before he could utter a word, or before he could speak, he was just thinking about the painting, that it's so good, it's so beautiful, it's wonderful. But before he could say, the painting had vanished, means gone. Couldn't see it. Not a trace of Wu Doazi's brush was left, and the artist was never seen again. Now something very surprisingly happened, that no brush was found of that particular artist, and the painting was also gone. Such stories played an important part in China's classic education. These are some stories which have been kept in the Chinese culture in their education process. The books of Confucius and Zhuangzi are full of them. They helped the master to guide his disciple in the right direction. Disciple means his learner. Beyond the honest thought, they are deeply revealing of the spirit in which the art was considered. Okay, children, the art was so deep that it could motivate any spirit, any person. It was so deep. Contrast this story or other famous one about a painter. Contrast means just opposite, who wouldn't draw the eye of the dragon he had painted. Now about another painter, that he did not ever draw the eye of a dragon for fear it would fly out of the painting. What does it mean? It meant that it was so real, he drew the dragon so real, that it was looking like if he put the eyes in that character, in that dragon, might be it flew. Why? Because it was very, very real. For it would fly out of the painting with an old story from my native Flanders that I find most representative of Western painting. In 15th century Antwerp, a master blacksmith called Quentin Metzes fell in love with painter's daughter. Okay, now this is about the 15th century, where a person was in love with a painter's daughter. The father would not accept a son-in-law in such a profession. Okay, so father will not accept such a profession. So Quentin sneaked, means moved into the painter's studio and painted a fly on his latest panel. Okay, he flew, he painted a panel, he painted a fly. Okay, with such delicate realism. Delicate means very pure, realism means realistic, very pure, very realistic fly. Okay, that the master tried to swat it away before he realized what had happened. Okay, before it could realize what had happened actually. Quentin was immediately admitted as an apprentice into his studio. He married his beloved and went on to become one of the most famous painters of his age. Who became the most famous painters? Quentin. He married his love and became one of the most famous and popular painters during his time, during this era. These two stories illustrate what each form of art is trying to achieve. trying to tell us, trying to motivate us. A perfect illusionist likeness. Illusion means to look at something. The illusion, see, we see something with another idea, with another frame of mind, because that is my thinking. You can see something with the help of your thinking, so it might be dissimilar because I am thinking something according to my mindset. You are seeing according to your point of view. Okay. In Europe, the essence of inner life and spirit in Asia. In the Chinese story, the emperor commissions a painting and appreciates its outer appearance. Okay? Appreciates means praises, likes, but the artist reveals to him the true meaning of his work. Okay, he liked the appearance, but the painting is very deep. Children, these painters, they are not common people, they are not usual. These painters, these authors, they have a different and a very deep outlook to everything they see. Okay, about life, about people, about the surroundings, about animals, about anything. They can quote or tell us the same thing in a very different way, might be the way we have never thought. So same thing is mentioned for a painter also. The emperor may rule over the territory he has conquered, means he has taken away, or he is the leader, but only the artist knows the way within. Let me show the way, the Tao, a word that means both the path or the method and the mysterious work of the universe. The mysterious work means the intricate, the complicated, as in how the universe is working, how everything is happening, how the world is moving. There are endless questions to the universe. The painting is gone, but the artist has reached his goal beyond any material appearance. Okay, painting might get withered, might get faded or anything, but the painter, he is able to tell what he wanted to tell. He is able to reach the goal. He has able to convey the thoughts, the ideas which he wanted to show through the entire painting. A classical Chinese landscape is not meant to reproduce an actual view as would a Western figurative painting. Okay? See, it is saying that it cannot exactly tell you the meaning as a Western painting means something which is very casual, not so deep. Okay? A sly meaning. Whereas the European painter wants you to borrow his eyes and look at a particular landscape exactly as he sees it. Okay? But the European painter, in other hand, I can see a bird, you can also see a bird. Same meaning, bird flies, running to the heights, reaching the top. Okay? Same thing can be conveyed. The idea of the painter can be conveyed to the viewer, to the person who is visiting that painting, who's seen that painting easily from the specific angle. The Chinese painter does not choose a single viewpoint. Okay, it does not tell about a basic viewpoint, the same viewpoint. His landscape is not a real one, and you can enter it from any point and then travel in it. It is not basic, you can travel anytime. The artist creates a path for your eyes to travel up and down and then back again. What is the scene? You can travel, you can go inside deep inside that painting and then come outside. Think about, go into a different world. Sometimes when we see a movie, we really go to an entirely different world. Okay, so this is the importance of any movie or anything, that when we watch it, we are through inside it. We don't think about anything else. That thing totally takes us within it. Okay, this in a leisurely moment. Leisure means enjoying, relaxing, soothing, giving us peace, quietness, calmness. This is even more in the case of the horizontal scroll, in which the action of slowly opening one section of the painting, then rolling onto the other, adds a dimension of time. Okay, moving the painting and then rolling it away. It also requires the active participation of the viewer. It is very important that the viewer is able to maintain that level of mental ability and thinking. Okay, through a painting, a participation which is physical as well as mental. The Chinese painter does not want you to borrow his eyes, he wants you to enter his mind. Okay, that's what I was saying you. They want that the person, the viewer, should go deep inside to the mindset of the painter, that what was he thinking, or what is his outlook regarding the landscape, or regarding the universe, or regarding the life we are living in. The Chinese painter does not want you to borrow his eyes, he wants you to enter his mind, his mindset, his idea of thinking, his perception, his point of view. The landscape is an inner one, a spiritual one, and a conceptual space. Conceptual means what he thinks, what he concepts, what he clarifies about that idea. Okay children, so till here what have we come to know about two? It is about very regarding the 15th century we are there in, and it is telling about two kinds of art forms. One is the Chinese one, which is not creating a real landscape, which is not telling the viewer exactly what the painter wants to show. It is confusing us. Whereas in the European, it is keeping us in its minds. It is exactly telling what is there. Okay, the Chinese painter does not want to borrow your eyes. It not only wants you to see, but also wants you to have that frame set of mind, to enter his mind, as in what is his thinking, his point of view regarding anything. All right, I am keeping till here. Next part will be completed in the next video. Okay, do go through these two pages 2-3 times. Okay, because it is little typical, so when you read, then only you will understand. Fine.